So this is about taking responsibility for my part in being with a narcissist. So my responsibility in it is that I was too giving, and I gave myself away. I didn't believe in myself enough. I gave away my power, basically. And that's what empaths do before they become healed empaths. So the relationship between an empath and a narcissist. And so an empath and a narcissist have very similar childhood. Somehow there is major wounding. Both my ex-husband and I were raised by narcissists. My father was a narcissist. His stepfather was a narcissist. And his real dad died drowned in Okanagan Lake when he was only 4 years old, so from boating and drinking. So that's a major injury, emotional injury. And so a narcissist is like, nothing you ever do is ever good enough. Everything is for them and about them. And they're very abusive mentally, emotionally, physically. So that's how we both grew up. So it was like the perfect recipe for the perfect storm, perfect storm of a relationship. And that's what it was. So he turned into a narcissist from his abusive childhood. I turned into an empath. I gave myself up. Like, even when I was a child, I used to give everything away, give my crayons away, give my toys away, my treats away, thinking that my father didn't love me. I could make people love me by being giving, loving, and kind. And then a narcissist, well, they just become like the narcissist in order to survive that sort of childhood. So in the beginning, he started triangulating me, which is creating a love triangle between me and some of his ex-girlfriend. And I knew it, and I stayed anyway, and I shouldn't have. So I should have left before the children even came. But the narcissist tells a love story, and it's a story. It's all make-believe. It's like the Cinderella story, right? That's what he was trying to do. And I wanted to believe it. I was an empath, and empaths love to believe the narcissist story. So there's my ownership there. I didn't want to see the realities of the situation, that he didn't actually really love me. Narcissists are in love with love. They're in love with their illusion. And empaths basically worship that illusion. That's what we do. The unhealed empath. So, there's a lot of abuse and a lot of my power that I gave away throughout the relationship, where I gave him power over the business bank accounts, believed his BS that he was a better person and more important than me, and his friends and family and everybody was more important than me. So it's like basically had a victim mentality. That's what an empath has, is a victim mentality. And it was instilled in me from a very early age. So when I started to heal, when I started doing a lot of inner work and seeing therapists and psychologists and reading a lot of self-help books, and started to realize like what was going on with me, and starting to want to take my power back and to take equality back in the relationship, well, that's when a narcissist discards. So that's what he did. And he and they can be brutal and discard you very harshly. And that's what he did. He took all the money. He took the business. He had an affair. He wanted to punish me for breaking away from the fairy tale, the fake story, though, because it's not real. It's all an act. And he was angry at me for exposing the reality of the situation. So that's why I've been single for 9 years, because before him I had another relationship with a narcissist that was long-term. Of course, my father was a narcissist. He was a narcissist. I have to do a lot of work on myself and find out who I am, my inner voice, my personality, take my power back, learn to set boundaries down, learn to channel my energy in towards my own healing instead of wanting to heal the entire world and save everybody. I had to learn to save myself and my children, and to just really focus and not... the problem with an empath is we feel everything very deeply. I'm also very psychic. That's what I do for a living. And I have had to learn not to I have completely shut out a lot of people, like I have. So I've got to find some balance now after shutting people out to slowly let people in again and trust myself that I have definitely solidified my boundaries and that I'm not going to be giving myself away. But this is especially dangerous for me in relationships, in romantic relationships especially, to be able to go really slow with somebody and have them respect that. That's what I need. And unfortunately, that's been very difficult for me to find. Guys want to move fast. They want to move fast on me. You know, they want to put their hands all over me. They want to jump into a relationship and everything right away. But I need someone who will let me take time to read them and put my toe in a little bit at a time. And until I find that, I'm not going to just leap in with anyone, because that's what happens. Unfortunately, that's what that's the MO for narcissists. They just want you to jump in right away, and then hook you right away, right? Love bomb you right away. So I've got to find this balance within me to let friends back into my life and a romantic partner back into my life, and still keep my boundaries and my identity, and not give myself away again, but actually be in a healthy relationship that isn't based on codependency, but interdependency. You know, that's when you can both depend on each other in a healthy way, not in a way that's needy and dysfunctional.